Hi, and welcome back to the Maybe I Can podcast. I'm your host, Debbie Weiss, and thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. So, here it is. It's July. I don't know about you, but how did that happen so quickly? As a matter of fact, for my friends and family that are listening, this is airing on July 9th. That means 3 months from today, you know what that is. It's my birthday. My birthday should be a national holiday. I don't know what it is about my birthday. I've always been obsessed with my birthday, and it doesn't matter how old I get, I still and will always love my birthday. But they just seem to keep coming faster and faster, right? I mean, as we get older, it feels like time is just whizzing by. As a matter of fact, I was today at my cousin's granddaughter's 4th birthday party. And I'm thinking to myself, when did we get to be the old people? When did we get to be the people who weren't running around after kids or in the pool playing? Instead, we were the people who were like, oh my goodness, it's hot out here. We need to go in the air conditioning. And when did this happen? And it happens in the blink of an eye. And I think that we always kind of need a little kick in the butt to remind ourselves of that this is our one and only life. Time is flying by. It's going to pass quickly, regardless of whether we do what we want to do or whether we're doing something that we feel we should be doing. And I don't mean a career. I just mean everything. Everything in your life. Things that you're happy with, things that you're not happy with. It's up to each of us to live the life that we desire. And so here it is halfway through the year. And I really want to talk about where do we stack compared to where we hope to be when maybe we set New Year's resolutions or goals or whatever it was. Where are we now? This is not to say you should feel badly if you're not where you hope to be. Or to tell you the truth, before I hit record, I thought to myself, how sad is this? Like, okay, for my insurance agency, I do know what my goals are or our goals are as a team. I do know where I stand. But as far as my book sales, my speaking business, and all the rest, I don't remember if I even set any goals in January, which really isn't fabulous on the one hand. On the other hand, thinking back, I remember feeling overwhelmed with the whole idea of goal setting because at that time, my direction was not clear in my head, even where I was headed, where I wanted to head. And I think I had to decide back then to just keep taking purposeful action that I was drawn to and just kind of see where it takes me. And that's what I have been doing for the last 6 months. And to be quite honest, I'm a little more dialed in now, so I think I do have a better idea for the next 6 months where I want to go, but I haven't formalized anything. So please don't beat yourself up because this isn't beating us. It's not about beating ourselves up. It's really reflecting because I think it's so important that we step back from our day-to-day lives, from the checklist, the to-do list, the 9 to 5, all the responsibilities, and look around and take stock. Because if we don't, what's going to happen? There we're going to be at the end of our lives, on our last days, looking back saying, wow, it all went by so quickly and I never even got to try this, experience that, meet this person, whatever that may be for you. So I want you to maybe give a little bit of thought of maybe what have you accomplished in the first 6 months of this year that you didn't plan for? And I can say for me is that I made a concerted effort. I was not going to go out and solicit people, events, planners, whatever, trying to get speaking engagements. I decided, nope, let it come to me. And I got many more invitations or requests than I ever thought were possible with me literally not doing anything. So that was very unexpected and very wonderful. What worked well for you the first half of the year? Come on, there's got to be something. I know there is. For me, looking back, what worked well for me, I think I would say the sale of my books. I'm really happy with how the sale of my books has really picked up this year over last year. What got in the way and how did you handle it? Did you get frustrated and throw your hands up in the air and say, forget it? Did you plow through? Did you pivot and come up with another way to do it? When I personally reflect on that, I had been planning on producing, well, let me just say this. I had created a card deck, a sprinkle card deck. And it was all designed, every last bit of it, everything, the instructions, the box cover, the cards themselves. I was super happy with it. I had chosen the company that I was going to use to print the first 200 boxes of the cards. And literally, just as I almost pressed pay to pay for them, they were coming from China. And that's when the whole tariff thing happened. And this is not political. I don't care which side you're on. But all I knew is that I was not going to pay an extra 30% in order to import my card deck. And I did shop it around a lot. I mean, I did the first time, honestly, in the United States. I wanted to have it printed here. But financially, it just wasn't feasible. And so I made another effort and no changes in the pricing. I would have to sell my deck for, I don't know, $50 to even come close to almost breaking even, which is ridiculous. I'm not going to sell a card deck, 52 card deck for $50. And the card deck I'm talking about, they're not playing cards. I don't know what to call them. I guess like an affirmation card deck. They'll still be around in a few months, hopefully. But they are a nice addition to the Sprinkle Effect book and the workbook and something tangible that you can pull a card each day or go through the cards, decide what sprinkle you might need to be reminded of today. You could take that card with you to your office. You could prop it up on your computer, have it like, because I don't know about you. Sometimes in the morning, I say what I'm going to do, or I have like, a few goals for the day. And if they're in front of me, open on my desk, I forget about them. And so I love the idea of giving you something that is a reminder, and it looks pretty too. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to have to put it on hold. Sometimes I can be a little impulsive, and so it was really hard for me to say, well, should I pay the extra 30%? And I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't lose money on this, right? I don't have to make a lot of money, but I can't lose money. That's irresponsible of me. So I just decided, okay, pressing pause is okay. And when the time is right, the time will be right. And that's what I did. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of that decision. I'm happy to say that there might be a little bit of a shift. And I think in the next month or so, I might actually be able to order them. So more to come on that. All right. Now let's forget about any of the checklists, forget about goal setting for the next 6 months. I want you to really think about, at the end of the year, how do I want to feel? Tap into that. Now, if you're not driving, don't close your eyes. But if you are, if you're not, and you feel comfortable, close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and imagine that it is December 31st. You're not rushing to take care of anyone. The shopping is all done. You're not checking a list. You are simply sitting there and reflecting back on 2025. What does life look like if you made even a little space for you? What would it feel like to reclaim a part of yourself that maybe you've put on hold for whatever reason? Maybe you've been taking care of a loved one. Maybe you're a busy mom who's always taking care of everyone else. Whatever the reason, why have you put yourself on hold? Maybe you've picked something up that you used to love. Maybe you found a few minutes of quiet each day. Maybe you've asked for help or stopped trying to do it all. What's one thing you'd be proud of by year's end? Not as a caregiver, not as a mom, not as a boss, a team member, a volunteer, any of those other roles. But what's one thing you'd be proud of by year end as a woman? Take a moment to see her. You, standing in confidence. Maybe softer, maybe stronger. Maybe more you than you've felt in a while. Let that image anchor you. Let that version of you speak. She's telling you it's okay to grow, even if you're taking care of others. You matter too. Open your eyes, and I want you to carry that vision with you as a quiet promise for the rest of the year. You need to do something to take care of you. You need to figure out, what is it that I want to pay attention to over the next 6 months? It's not about revamping your whole entire life, changing every habit that you have. Pick one area of focus. What's one thing that you can sprinkle more attention on over the next 6 months? Then I want you to think to yourself, what could you realistically do each month that would move you a little closer to where you would like to be? And then once you have that, what's one small action that you can take weekly to help you move forward? Now, is there a mindset shift, a habit, or a reminder that you want to keep close to you on a daily basis? Like I said, I personally like to I actually take my journal where I've written 3 actions that I'm going to take, 3 very small actions that I'm going to take each day that will move me a step closer to my goal. And I take that, I write it at home, I take it to my office, and the first thing I do is open it up so that I'm staring at it all day long. And let me tell you, when I take those 3 small actions, and I mean they are small, it could be making one phone call. It could be drinking one glass of water. I mean, really, really small, doable things. And when I do them, I feel good about it. But if I don't have it in front of me, like I said, out of sight, out of mind. When I reflect on this, where do I want to sprinkle more attention over the next 6 months? For me, it's my health. I feel like I have let that slide over probably really since my husband died for a variety of reasons. And so when I reflect on what I'm asking you to do monthly, what could I do realistically each month? I could food shop regularly. Yeah. Okay, so true confession, I do food shop. If you've been listening, you know I don't cook. I don't like to food shop. I food shop online, but I really buy the bare minimum. And it's only when I'm going and I'm visiting the supermarket on a regular basis, that's when I buy the produce and the vegetables and the fruit and all the things. And honestly, since I don't like to prep and I don't cook, you know what? I don't care if it's more expensive. For me, it's buying cut up fruit, frozen vegetables, those kinds of things. And for whatever reason, I don't do that when I shop online and have it for pickup. So that's something that I could do monthly. Weekly, what small action could I take? Well, honestly, I could schedule it. So that means that I'm going to put it in my calendar. As a matter of fact, before I hit record, I was talking with Ben, my youngest son, and he said now that he's home after he graduated from college, he's like, Mom, we really need to go to the supermarket. I'm like, you know what, Ben, you're right. Tomorrow night I can't, but Tuesday night, let's do it. And so we've got a supermarket date. And having him to come with me, not that he'll come with me all the time, it really does make it easier. And daily, what can I do? Daily. For me, I've got to celebrate the wins. When I do it, when I put it in my calendar, yay me! I remembered and I put it in my calendar. And when I go to the supermarket, I am going to praise myself up and down. And that'll make me want to do it again and again and again and again. So what is that for you? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. As I close up, I don't want to leave you thinking that you're behind because we're already in July. No. Press that reset button. Maybe what you were thinking in January after everything that's happened the first 6 months in your life, it's not realistic, or it's no longer a priority. Our priorities shift, right? Things happen that are unforeseen. Now's the time to take stock. But what we can't do is never think about it again until December 31st. We have to be intentional. Progress, it's not always visible. It's those little things in the moment, but they add up. So let this be your reset, your reminder, your moment to sprinkle a little more intention into your life. Take just 5 minutes to jot down what is your one goal or your one focus going to be the next 6 months? And then break it down into those micro steps. Monthly, what could you realistically do each month? Weekly, what small action would move you forward? And daily, what do you need? Is it a mindset shift? If it's something with a habit, is it a reminder on your phone or a physical reminder, a piece of paper, something like that? If you need a little structure, feel free to check out my free download, One Critical Step to Kickstart Change. You can find it on my website at debbierweiss.com/Kickstart. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Happy July. Happy Christmas in July. And let's make the second half of the year the one where you show up for you. Until next time, keep sprinkling.